Hello everyone, my name is Noemi Hernandez and this day I'm going to talk about a book. And the name of the book is The Old Man in the Sea, and the author of the book is Ernest Hemingway. The Old Man in the Sea, a literary work written by the Ernest Hemingway in 1951, has a very simple structure with every expression. Ernest Hemingway. He was an American writer and journalist, one of the leading novelists of the 20th century, while his life of adventure and his public image left traces in later generations. Now, I'm going to talk about a little the main character, and the first is Santiago. He is the old man's skins ungaily with deep wrinkle in the back of the neck. The broad spot of benign skin cancer that produced the song of a Caribbean sea on the cheek. He was very well persistent and very patient. The last main character is the surfeit. Now I speak a little about the secondary character, and the first is the Menolin. He was a young boy who had a great appreciation and affection for Santiago because he taught him to fish. The boy was sad to see the old man return every day with his empty book. The last secondary character are the parakeet and Charles. The relationship that is formed between the old man in the sea begins briefly in this way. The old man was a strong man, and despite his great age, his image did not match his antiquity. He was thin and ungainly with its wrinkle on the back of the neck. Everything in his was all except his eyes, which were cheerful and indifferent and some color of the sea. He lived in a fishing village and exercised the same traits, although in the last 84 days there was absolutely nothing fish. The first 40 days of shortage had been helped by a young man. But the parent of this, when he realized that the old man could not catch any till, while the other fishermen were able to sustain themselves with what they fished, they prohibited the young man from continuing to help the old man because according to them, and the people could be infected with bad luck. He cut and although he was outside the will of the young man, he had to give up the idea to continue helping the old man. The young man was sad to see how every day the old man returned with his book without having caught anything, and the young man had not been helping. The old man for 4 days and decided to go to help him and invite him to recreate away on the terrace and drink some beer. Being there, they remember how the old man taught him to fish and how after 87 days without fishing. They caught big fish every day for 3 weeks. The old man thanked him that if it had not been for help he gave him, would have succeeded because would have given up. The old man told him that the next day he would sail away from there and would not return until he had obtained a fish large enough to case to be the mockery of the town. The young man was very worried, but at the same time he felt full of pride. The next day was decisive for the old man. He was equipped with his lines and bait, or fishermen also prepared daily. When he had to start sailing, the old man took a different direction from the rest of the fishermen, ensuring that in that direction where the biggest weight, but they are recriminate him lies crazy. He, without giving importance to his comments, continued his course, but quit when by and he still didn't catch anything. He was alone in the sea until one day he could see with his eyes a beautiful golden color. It was a fish, but not just any fish. This was beautiful, and its size resembled that of Charles. It was the first time the man saw something like that. He managed to catch it but not put in the book, so he kept it out with the line grabbed in his hands. It was difficult not to tell his hands were destroyed, but the great pressure that the fish he exercised, but he didn't care about his injury. He was only proud his achievement. Several days passed before he could get back to town, while the other fish and sharks ate the skin of his great prize. When he arrived at the town, there was nothing like that fish, but everyone could realize that all crazy as they used to have no such bad luck and had already managed to catch a fish, an action that they believed impossible. This book is an example perseverance and admiration. In the life, we should never give up in the face of adversity because if we perseverance, we can achieve everything we crave. I invite that you can read this book because I think that you can learn a little about the experience life